Okay, let's dive in. Sometimes the biggest truths, they aren't these huge pronouncements. They're found in quiet moments, a whisper in hospital, maybe, or just the sheer relief of getting a meal. Today, we're looking at a really intense personal story, a memoir. It follows a child from, well, severe neglect into what seems like safety, but then unexpected betrayals kick in. Our mission here, for you, our listener, is to find those surprising moments of comfort, but also the chilling discoveries and just that fundamental human need for safety, for relief, connection.
Yeah, and what's really striking is how it opens. This almost overwhelming sense of peace. Imagine, waking up to a soft breath, a gentle sigh of dawn, quiet footsteps, hushed voices. After living in total chaos, that kind of peace, that symphony of peace must have felt completely foreign, comforting, but alien.
That symphony of peace, yeah, it sounds almost disorienting after chaos. How did the memoir capture the internal shift for the child? I mean, facing that sudden quiet, that gentle care.
Well, it really points out that for a kid coming from that background, real safety isn't just, no danger. It's the presence of something predictable, gentle rhythms. The author talks about the child just needing food, seeing cereal in a bowl, gleaming white with cold, fresh milk, and thinking it's a king's feast. It wasn't just about hunger, it was proof of consistent care. A revelation, really. Even the hospital's glass walls, which sound unsettling, actually offered a kind of strange security. Because sure, nowhere to hide, but also nowhere to be hidden from. And for a child who's been ignored, forgotten, being seen, even exposed like that becomes safety. It means someone's watching, protecting.
That's a really powerful point. Being seen as safety. But this safety, it was temporary, right? The memoir shows it gets shattered pretty chillingly. The child overhears nurses talking about how they have been left alone, and the horror in their voices when one says he's been changing her nappies and feeding her at that age. What about that specific bit about the fried eggs? What does that tell us about survival and how it can be misunderstood?
Oh, it's stark. It shows how interventions, even well-meaning ones, can feel dangerous if people don't get the context. You have the nurse gasping, "He could have killed her!" But the reality was blunt. Well, if he hadn't fed her that, she'd have been dead by now. And that realization just hit the child like a brick. Their desperate act of survival, seen as a danger. It just highlights how crucial it is to understand, really understand, a child's trauma and their instincts.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet, even after that blow, there's this moment of unexpected kindness. A male nurse, right, wheels in the TV, asked, "You don't want to go to sleep yet, do you?" What did that simple thing mean?
It was huge. Absolutely huge. It made the child feel grown up, like I was in on something special, that small gesture. It created this feeling of being safe, truly safe for the first time, of being seen. For a child used to being invisible, unheard, that moment of agency, of connection, it was vital, truly vital validation.
So this deep dive then follows the child to a new place, a foster home. And the description, this storybook street, sounds almost too perfect at first. What details hinted at that initial perfection? And how did the child see it?
It's painted as like something out of a nursery rhyme, exactly. Mrs. Reynolds with her massive, beaming smile, Mr. Reynolds' warm, genuine laugh. The house itself felt clean, shiny, cozy, like it could wrap around you like a soft, comforting blanket. You can imagine, for a child coming from nothing like that, it looked like the dream. Ideal family, total security, so much hope initially.
And it seems like it was okay for a bit, making friends, learning simple things like making peppermint balls.
Ah.
But then the betrayals start creeping in. Small at first, the foster brother Tom starting a game of hitting. The child taps him lightly and Tom just screamed, piercing, ear-splitting howl, blames the child. And Mrs. Reynolds immediately turns alarm and anger, shouting, "No buts." How did that little thing start eroding trust so badly?
That was the beginning, the insidious start. The child suddenly always seemed to be in trouble for something, for things that made no sense. It's a classic setup, isn't it? Undermining the victim's reality bit by bit. And the most harrowing part, of course, is the wet bed incident. The bed was soaked around my shoulders, crucially, yet the pajamas, completely dry. That detail just screams discrepancy.
Yeah, despite pleading, no one believed me. It's more than just a nasty trick. It's textbook gaslighting.
Yeah.
Denying a child's reality, twisting it, making them doubt themselves. And the memoir reveals Tom admitting it later, peeing in my bed, then threatening, "Say anything and I'll batter you." Got it.
So how did Mrs. Reynolds' reaction, dismissing it all, make things even worse? When the child finally works up the courage to expose Tom, Mrs. Reynolds just shuts it down. "Don't be stupid. How can he do that from his own bed over there?" It was devastating. Not just disbelief, but total invalidation. wiping out the child's truth. That re-victimization, being punished for things you didn't do, like being locked in the caravan, it shows how a child's whole sense of reality gets dismantled when the supposed caregivers deny everything, which is exactly why Arthur, the social worker, becomes so incredibly important.
Arthur, when he asks gently about the bedwetting, the child told him everything. And Arthur, unlike everyone else, he listened, truly listened. He believed me. What's the power of just one person believing amidst all that invalidation?
I mean, it's profound, isn't it? The impact of trust and validation, especially for a child so vulnerable, already dealing with so much. Arthur became that one secure point, the anchor in that storm of lies and confusion. His belief, that unwavering belief, it was the foundation for the child to start trusting their own perception again. It just shows the critical role, that even one validating adult can play in buffering trauma and fighting back against that kind of manipulation.
So this journey we've traced, it goes from just needing basic food and safety to finding what looks like family, only to face this crushing betrayal from inside that supposed safe space. And holding it together somehow is that thread of Arthur's belief. So for you, listening, it really makes you think, how do we spot those subtle but really damaging psychological betrayals? The ones that can hide, even in places that look nurturing. And what does it actually take to create a space where a child's truth isn't just heard, but is deeply, truly believed? Validated. Something to consider.